different century.
It was a different century. It was a different world. It was a different war. And, having been there, I cursed the day that I ever got there, but I also blessed the fact that I survived, that I learned so much, that it allowed me, believe it or not, those experiences allowed me to become an author, allowed me to understand what it is like to be near death and what it is to survive. But getting back to The Enemy Within as a title itself, the Vietnamese, most of them are Buddhists, and they believe that it is more important for you to conquer yourself than it is for you to conquer your enemy. And let me quote a sign that was at the top of Marble Mountain where I served. And it begins, the book begins with this quote, and it goes, "Though he should conquer 1,000 men in the battlefield, yet he indeed is the noblest victor who would conquer himself." And that's what we needed to learn in Vietnam. How to conquer ourselves and how to, not only personally, but as a country. You go over there and kill people. I mean, to me, it didn't make any sense. And I apologize to any of the listeners who felt that it was a good war. It wasn't. It just wasn't. Mm-hmm. And by the way, not to be totally against our effort there, I remember my son, when he was in high school, came home one day from school and said, "Hey, Dad, how come we lost the Vietnam War?" And I said, "Who told you we lost it?" He said, "My history teacher." Well, Trey, let me tell you something. I had a nice little talk with that history teacher. And I told him, we never lost one battle. We never lost one battle in that war. And the reason why we didn't win the war, no, we didn't lose it, but we didn't win it. And the reason why we didn't win it is because people like myself and people on the left, the protesters, had enough, had enough power and sway to convince the government that we should get out of there. And to make a long explanation very, very short, we left Vietnam, the American soldiers left Vietnam in 1973, and the government there fell in 1975. So we didn't lose that war. We just didn't win it. Mm-hmm. So it's like any war. If you're in it, you've got to win it. You've got to be in it to win it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, and I'm not an advocate for war, but you have to have a clear purpose, and it has to serve the national interest. I mean, if we're being attacked, like in 9/11, absolutely. But to say that we're fighting communism 12,000 miles from home, that doesn't make any sense. But, as a country, I think we realize that now.
Yeah. Yeah, the times have changed, and, Mm-hmm. Yeah. Before I say my next question, I just want to say thank you for your service,
No, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. It was not something that like I said, I volunteered. I mean, but it wasn't something that I was really ready for. It's amazing when you send a kid off to war. These kids are young. We were 18, 19, and 20, and back then it wasn't all volunteer; it was draft. So, people got sent there involuntarily. But when you send a kid off to war, the reason why, not only is it because they're younger and stronger, but it's because they're so vulnerable that they believe anything. And the training was so intense that I even knew that there was a good possibility that I wasn't going to come back, and I was ready to die for my country. That's how intense the training and the brainwashing was. Mm-hmm. But you're welcome. I appreciate that sentiment, Trey.
Yeah, thank you. My next question is, we could find your book on Amazon, right? We can order the book on Amazon.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. It's sold on Amazon and Kindle. Vietnam, The Enemy Within, and it's an easy read, and it's not very expensive. As a matter of fact, I have a discount going on through Kindle and Amazon. If you buy it, you get a steep discount. And the book is available all across the world in different languages. So,
Awesome.
there you go.
My
plug.
Yeah, I'll be sure to order it. I've been meaning to order a copy of your book, so I'll be sure
Well,
to.
if you don't get a copy, Trey, I'm going to be very disappointed. But if you do get a copy, I will be glad to autograph it for you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And that goes for anybody who's listening. If they order one of my books, they can send it to me, and I will be glad to autograph it.
Awesome. My last question to you is, what is your advice to people who want to get started in radio?
We discussed following your dreams, and I really would suggest that if you're a young person and you want to really want to get into radio, go to a radio station. Offer your services, whether it's for free or as an intern. I mean, you can take communications classes, you can take acting classes. And if you've got a good voice and good delivery, then chances are you'll be noticed. But just follow your dreams, like we said before, Trey, and don't be intimidated by people who say you can't do it. Because if you want to do it, you will. And as I used to tell my children, if you say you can't, it means you won't. And so just follow your dreams. If you really want to be in radio, start as an intern. If you want to take acting classes, do it. But do whatever it takes. And there are many different roads to obtaining a job in radio. And there are a lot of people that are a lot less talented than you or I that are in it. So and there are radio stations still all over the country. And many, you think about all of the different towns and villages and cities in this country, and there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people on the radio and thousands of stations that need announcers or people to read commercials and things like that.
Yeah. Radio stations and, online broadcasting are always looking for people, to get hired,
That's right. And just about everybody can be a podcaster if they want. So if you want to cut your teeth on that, I mean, that's a good way to get started too. It's not going to make you any money, but it will at least give you some kind of practice and some kind of exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it will lead to greater things, hopefully,
Well, that's right. And you know what? I used to, I was born and raised very, very poor in the projects in Brooklyn, New York. And we never had anything. We'd never realized how poor we were. But, it was one of these things where if you really want to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you can. And you can accomplish amazing things. I always use the example of Colin Powell. I mean, his mother was an immigrant maid from Haiti, and he raised himself by his own bootstraps and became the Secretary of State. So it's amazing.
Oh yeah, follow your dreams, and if you put your mind to it, you can do it.
Yeah, and it really doesn't. The difference between being successful and not being successful has nothing to do with the amount of brains you have or whether or not you were born with a silver spoon. It's all about one thing, and that one thing is determination. If you are determined and you set your mind to something, you will accomplish it.
Oh yeah. You have to learn what you're getting into, and like you said, take acting classes. There's always room to learn, and you never stop learning.
The day you stop learning is the day you probably should turn in your keys to the club.
Yeah, every day you learn something new. So.
Hopefully, yeah. Live and learn, they say, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, Robert, thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you, and thank you very much, my friend.
No, pleasure is all mine. All mine. You call me anytime, and if you have any follow-up questions, or if any of your listeners have any follow-up questions, just feel free to let me know. I'm available anytime. And one of the things I pride myself in is being able to communicate some of my experiences so other people can learn. You know, they say, you can't learn from other people's experiences, but if you listen, you might. But anyway, Trey, the pleasure was all mine. I really do appreciate you calling, and I appreciate your time in giving me this interview.
Thank you very much. You have a good day.
You too, Trey. Bye now.
Bye-bye. And that was Mr. Robert Romaniello. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope we gave you some entertainment yet informative pieces of information. And hopefully we brightened up your day. Thank you very much for listening. This is Trey Old signing off for today. God bless you all.